I passed the Part 107 exam on the first try with an 85%. So today I wanted to run through the study material that helped me pass the Part 107 exam. So the first piece of study material that I recommend is getting a physical copy of the Airman Knowledge Testing Supplement. So you're definitely going to want to get familiar with this. Right now it's $11.85. So I definitely recommend getting that. Just make sure that the one that you order says for use in 2025 FAA-CT-8080-2H. This is on the upper right-hand corner. So you're going to want to get that one. It's the one that's used during your FAA knowledge exam. So, I mean, you might as well get it. $12. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Get familiar with it. It's got everything that you need. So I think it made a big difference between the digital version and the physical version. I just like having the physical version personally. And you can't take this one in, right? The one that you're studying with, but it's going to be the same exact one that they give you. Okay, so the first YouTuber that I recommend is Mr. Mig's Classroom. I'm not going to play the video, but some of these videos are going to be 10 minutes, 20, 30. What I recommend is taking these in bite-sized pieces because there's no way that you can listen to all this in one day. And then also, once you start getting familiar with the information, because a lot of it is going to overlap in some of these videos that I'm going to be mentioning, which is okay because I like the different teaching styles of how people present information and how they deliver it. Does that make sense? Hopefully. But it's a lot of the same information that they're going to be presenting, which is fine with me. But something I recommend is I have YouTube Premium, which allows me to listen to it kind of like a podcast. I don't have to have the video open on my phone. I can turn off the screen and have the video playing in the background, just listening to the audio. Hopefully that makes sense. Just kind of like a podcast, like I mentioned. So yeah, Mr. Mig, MIG, Mr. Mig's Classroom. I believe he's a drone pilot instructor at a high school. So he teaches this stuff. So he knows how to prep people for the Part 107 exam. Let's move on to our next one, and that is going to be Tony and Chelsea Northrup. Again, another Part 107 free certification study guide. This one is an hour and 43 minutes, so definitely browse through this one. So let's move on to the next one. So the next YouTuber is Mike Sites. A lot of good information, tons of videos on how to pass the Part 107 exam. I definitely recommend his study guide for passing in 2025, which is 29 minutes. What I can say about Mike Sites' videos in particular, they're very, very engaging. A lot of B-roll and a lot of visuals that'll keep you engaged and keep you watching. So Mike Sites, I recommend on YouTube. Matt Kendall has a free Part 107 study guide that I recommend also. This one's an hour and 36 minutes. Now, a lot of the information kind of overlaps with some of the other videos that I've mentioned, but if you can listen to this while you're on your break, while you're going to your job or driving to and from somewhere, maybe you have a long road trip ahead of you and you're driving for the next couple hours, I would put this on in the car so that you can listen to it. Because for me personally, I learn by repetition. So if I hear the information over and over again, it helps me. There's another YouTuber that I used to study, and that is Katya's Buzz Media. This isn't the only video she's got. She's got several of them like the other YouTubers that I recommend. This is just one example that I found and I ended up pulling up. So there's a lot of study guides on YouTube, and just pick a few of them. I would say 3 or 4 of them, and use that as far as your study material on YouTube. So getting off of YouTube, we're going to go to the King School's free FAA Part 107 drone pilot test. You can kind of simulate the test, and if you scroll down to the King's School's website, you can type in the number of test questions that you want to try. Let's say you just want to test yourself on 20 test questions. Okay, so you can kind of simulate what some of the test questions are going to look like through the King's test. Now, I will say that if you're using the King Schools, these test questions are harder than the exam questions that I saw on the Part 107. So if you're doing well on the King Schools one, I think you're going to do fine on the actual exam. So definitely check this out. It's King School's free FAA Part 107 drone pilot test. I also made flashcards. I made a bunch of them, and let's see here. So I have them all here. And what's good about flashcards in general is you're making the questions in your own words and you're writing them out at the same time. It's very helpful. And then you can review these over and over again. So how long do you need to wait until after you've had an alcoholic drink? You can pause the video for now if you want to take a guess at it, or if you already know it, the answer is 8 hours. So yeah, these are good to have. I have a question here on, thunderstorm, life cycle. What else do I have here? What is the max speed a drone can operate under Part 107 regulations? And the answer is, drum roll, it cannot exceed 87 knots or 100 miles per hour. So yeah, I mean, I think this is I think it's worth the investment of making these and just studying them. Any of them that I get wrong, make a pile, right? If I get this one wrong, I'll make a pile. If I get this one right, I'll make another pile. So I go back and I study the ones that I got wrong until they're burned in my memory and I've got them memorized. So a lot of the test is memorization, but a lot of it's not. A lot of it is knowing how to read those sectional charts. So definitely, if I had one tip for this particular video, is use the online study material that I mentioned earlier. Have a physical copy of the testing supplement and use your flashcards to your advantage. The night before, you can study them and you can go through them, and you'll be a lot more confident when you go into the testing room. So that's going to close out this video. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you are able to pass the Part 107 exam on the first try. Good luck, and I will see you in the next video.